Insurance agents oftentimes feel trapped, like they're stuck on a hamster wheel trying to run their agency. There's so much to do and not enough time to do it, and they are stuck in the day to day. And that is why we started this challenge. It is the 10-hour agency challenge. And so today is day 3 of the challenge. And Patrick Murakami is teaching step by step how he provides massive value to loan officers. So day 1, I taught about the systems and processes you need in your back office. Then day 2, Patrick and I taught about how to scrape loan officers, how to reach out to them, and how to convert them. Day 3, which is today, Patrick is teaching about how he provides massive value to his lenders and real estate partners, more so than they have ever seen from anybody else, and why he's able to go so deep in these relationships. So I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you in the next video.
Well, I guess today's my day. We got a chance yesterday to kind of go over some of the really kind of the relationship building with the lenders. And I woke up to an email from one of the lenders that, Tyler had connected me with and that I closed. And we ran a campaign for an email that basically just said, I want to build with you for 2026. Here's the information of what I need. And the information was really basic. It was like, give me a headshot, give me a link to your website, tell me a little bit about how you serve and then which clients that you kind of serve. And so, guess I'll pull up kind of my email so I can show you guys exactly what we did. We titled this Momentum 2026. Okay. And so, this included past and existing partners plus new partners. And it was simple. It just said, hey, this may be the first time we've connected since meeting in October and November. And for some of you, we've been working with together for years. I'm thankful and eager to be able to work with you in the immediate near future, but wanted to highlight and start planning the roadmap for 2026. We've already begun booking strategy sessions and putting together ideas of how to work together, whether it be for continuing education courses, custom courses for your partners, and launching our beta lead generation program, where we pair up lenders and realtors together. What I'm asking to begin your journey is to let me know which states you work in, what is your ideal niche, i.e. sellers, buyers, VA, first-time home buyers, etc. My team and I will start to build out customized database for our internal clients to be able to reach out to you. This is built on a single landing page and an internal database that can be cross-references to other databases, which we've built, and we will begin implementing you into AI search functions. If you have your own website, please link me along with your bio and headshot. My team will begin creating guest blog access for you so you can begin receiving your higher SEO and backdoor links to improve your Google searchability. The Better Business Bureau and other accredited sites typically charge $500 a year, and we will provide this for zero cost to you. Once the blog access has been opened up, we will teach you how to write your blog to the parameters for searchability on online platforms such as Google and Bing. And then we'll show you how to increase searchability through AI. While we will do much of the heavy lifting, many of these techniques will not work themselves and will not be beneficial as a one-time event. I'm excited to pour into you and grow into you for this year. Thank you with gratitude. Okay. So basically, what I told them is, hey, you send me all the information. I will do the initial legwork. Now, what you guys don't see is selfishly, what I'm asking for and what I'm creating is a backlink directly to these guys' website. What that does is that increases my searchability. So now instead of going through just my website, I have now gained access to these guys' website, or basically using them as a backlink. So to them, it's a $500 value automatically. For me, my agency now goes on 17 different websites. Okay. So it's a direct exchange. It's selfishly better for me. Yeah, I'll have to do some legwork for that, but it's literally them copying, pasting, sending me all the details, right? So you see we've got several replies. Here's one for an agent or lender that we already work with. So I already have all her details. And then here's another one. And she basically sent me like her whole life story, which is awesome. But I love this. She has the personality, and she says, when I'm not working with my clients, you'll see me with my kids, grandbabies, kayaking near a lake, and talking about her Australian Shepherd with a headshot. Okay. So literally, they have done all the work of what I need to be able to backdoor and now have a backlink and direct access for increase my searchability. Okay. Selfishly, that was the true benefit, but it is collaborative effort because I'm giving them the opportunity to also now go on my website, which I'll create a database. Okay. So if you are familiar with the SEO world, and the websites and all these things, backlinks can range anywhere between $500 to $3,500, really depending on where you're getting that. And so the power of joining something like the Better Business Bureau is not because they're ever probably going to go to mediation for you. It's because you get to use their backlink. Okay. Same thing with your local chamber of commerce as your, you're the big I, right? All of these other opportunities that you have, you're not paying for access to their systems. Maybe you go to the trainings, maybe you go to the events. That's just kind of an added bonus. But essentially, the big proponent that you get is you get their backlink. Okay. That's what helps propel your website. That's also what gives you more visibility. So if you can find these backlinks, $500, $1,000, it's well worth the cost. Okay. Now, if you can create your own backlinks, that's even better. And if you can create backlinks that are tied directly to people who are getting heavy traffic, that's going to increase that. Okay. So, pretty simple process. It's a lot easier to create opportunities with backlinks than it is to go and pay for them, at least in my opinion. And so what I would suggest is building a directory of trusted businesses, local businesses, and businesses that do a lot of heavy traffic. So e-commerce, financials, people that sell online, or people that have directories like a news station that maybe directs out to other places. Build yourself a directory, link these businesses, these directories to your website. Okay. Create a, what I like to call an FU page. Okay. And what I mean by that is, how many of you have probably won awards for your agency? Okay. How many of you know that your customers do not care about those, but you know who sees those? Your competition. Your competition always goes to your website and they always look to see what accolades you have. But just by having that page alone showcases what you've done. And this is where you would put that directory. This is where you would link people to turn around and say, here's all the referral partners that we work with. Here's some of the big companies that we work with. And what that does is it teaches your clients to say, oh man, I'm on this accolades page. Cool. Where can I write a blog? How can I access? How can I help this? Right? Because now you're helping their business grow, but selfishly, you're helping your own agency grow online. Okay. Super easy to implement. We can talk about this a lot more in the future. Now, I'm glad that he popped on actually, because we'll talk about this as well. Chris gave me this idea to create essentially a homeowner's guide and the average price point for the homes in certain zip codes. And we took that and we put an online calculator to go with it. And now when people access that, they can plug in to see in a certain zip code and then calculate automatically right off the bat. Now they can see if that's a good price point for them, if it's in medium, or if they want to actually just click that to move forward. But that alone drives traffic. What was that, Chris?
It's gold, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gold. It's a gold mine. Okay. Now you turn around and do the same thing, right? You guys talked about Facebook groups. Link your flood calculators. Link your forms that you have, right, to get a quote. Make that process so easy for realtors to go in and say, hey, you just have to click this link for your clients or for potential buyers, right? Or if you turn around and say, hey, if you're looking at buying a home, just click here, right? Take them to your form, use that form, and then have it go into your CRM. So now you're just lead genning those groups without ever having to sell to anybody. Hey, if you're interested in seeing what flood looks like on any property, click here. Share this with your clients. Share this with your agencies. You don't ever have to sell to them. You just tell them what's available. And you're just directing people. And now these Facebook groups are a gold mine without you ever having to talk about your agency. Okay.
I know that one thing.
I built one of these for real estate agents like 4 years ago. And then, dude, this thing still generates probably 150 leads a month.
Brandon and I used to do this all the time in Facebook groups. I would go into his groups, he would go into mine, and I would ask for recommendations on auto insurance or whatever. Hey, who's everybody using right now for insurance? And you're going to get tons of comments. But Brandon, like when I made those posts in his groups, he would comment back, hey, we provide auto insurance. He'd give his spiel, and then he'd have his quote page where people could go to his job form and fill it out. He'd have like all of his team members go comment it. And he said he would get more like long-term drips than he would that first day, because people will go to the post, they'll search auto insurance, they'll see that post, they'll see the quote request form, and it's just a lot easier than calling in somebody. So he was able to get kind of long tail quotes that way.
Right. I'm guessing most people in here are using some form of AI, right? ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Manus, etc. Right?
Oh, dude, the new Manus update is slick.
Yes, I like it.
So,
is anybody actively pushing or trying to figure out how to improve their searchability? Okay, I see Liam nodding his head. Okay, so
yeah, the one I'm working on right now is the AI SEO.
Liam and Patrick, are you still using Search Atlas?
Yes.
Have you seen the new AI searchability they've added in?
Yes, I have. I haven't played with it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, definitely play with Liam. If you haven't, Search Atlas, Patrick can tell you. I mean, it's a pretty slick tool.
I'll check it out.
Especially if you're using WordPress for your website, which I highly recommend.
I'm using Bolt.
But basically what it tells me like the UX. All right, so if I'm working with a brand, how are they showing up in these searches? And what's cool is it'll say, okay, we can't tell you exactly how many searches, but what's cool with HubSpot, it actually tells me who's coming from ChatGPT, who's coming from Gemini, Perplexity, whatever. So I actually can know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Through Google Search Console.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. So I'm going to show you guys, and again, this is really just, there's so much that goes into it, but if you really want to just simplify to start the process, these are really kind of the things of what you need to do. Okay. So if you're on the free version, you will not have access to this because you do have to have GPTs, right? But the first thing that you need to be able to get your business searched for and to be able to start that process is you need to talk to ChatGPT about your business. Okay. You need to tell it all the things that you're doing. And so if you don't tell it and you're only basically talking about it for like ideas, but no execution, then all it's doing is just gathering data that it has no way to spit you out. But when you give it specific wins, when you give it specific information, that's the very easiest piece to kind of start. Okay. Because there's also like a billion prompts being input every single week. You're just one of a billion pieces that's going in there. So you have to be really detailed. You have to be really good about telling it. And then that's the first step in the process. Okay. The second step in the process is that you're going to create a GPT specifically for your business. Okay. And in this GPT is really going to be all of the searchability pieces for essentially your AI. Okay. And so for things like your GPT, you want it to think exactly like you. So you want it to be your brain, your voice, your philosophy, right? I even have it where it talks about my demeanor. So clear, calm, honest, and emotionally intelligent with the idea of protection first, educational, and people focused. Okay. And then you have to go and really, I mean, there's layers upon layers, right? This is something that I'm editing almost every week. You know, first we're talking about home, auto, commercial, umbrella, flood, cyber insurance. Right now I got to go back and I got to add life insurance. We have this what's called a walkthrough mode. So we're not intentionally ever discussing rates through this, but we are looking at what are things that underwriters look for? How do we prepare? What impacts pricing, right? And this is educational. Then we also do a comparison mode. So it goes into talking about liability versus uninsured, underinsured motorists. Okay, so it's not like it's just a quick walk in the park of like, okay, this is what our agency focuses on, like a 30-second elevator pitch, right? You want to get really detailed with this. Here's the realtor support mode. Trains realtors to explain about insurance. Prepares clients, avoids closing day surprises, identifies red flags, and communicates risk effectively, including scripts and talking points. Okay. We've been talking about for 2 days, how do we impact and work with realtors and lenders? Well, this is a conversation that I have all the time. So I want people to know specifically when they ask about my agency, right? Or somebody says, oh, how does Patrick work with so many realtors and lenders? These are the questions and things that we want to identify and let people know. Okay. Commercial topics, a lot of trucking ideas, BOPs, GLs, commercial autos, policy review, right? And again, these are a lot of the processes. They upload their declaration page to us. We review that. So I'm literally telling you about all the things that we do in the agency. Okay. So then you also have to have your guardrails, right? What are the things that you don't want to happen? Must not give quotes, must not provide premiums, cannot promise savings, act more as an underwriter, does not offer tax or legal advice, right? Must not determine eligibility. So these are all the things that I want the app not to do or to hallucinate on. Okay. So the deeper this goes, the better the AI understands your agency. And then to pair up with your FAQs on your Google My Business or on your Bing search, okay? These are the things that the AI is going to pick up. It's going to basically read how you do things and if you do things better, okay? Anybody here ever heard of organic natural language? Okay. This is how you and I talk in a conversation. But SEO traditionally has not had that. They have what we called keyword stuffing. And so if I were talking to you and I would say, hey guys, Patrick in Colorado Springs, Colorado, Main Street Insurance, who offers independent coverage for auto, home, commercial, life, and all these things, would like to connect with you. And he has questions about your quote. And then I start repeating myself, right? That's essentially what SEO traditionally does. Now AI turns around and says, we don't talk like that. I don't understand that. It makes no sense to me. So the path has to be very clear in your language, in your blogs, in your SEO, in your FAQs.
I'll tell you something that really helps here too. Something I call conversational search. And think about this. You speak differently than you type. So I think traditional SEO was more about typing. AI is more about how people are speaking into their phone and actually having a conversation. We call it conversational search. And my team, when they use AI, is not allowed to type. They can only speak because I want them to get in their minds of how our consumers are using it so that we can feed back to those answers the right way.
Yes. And think about this, right? So if you're in the South, you guys don't say shopping carts. They call it a buggy. No, they call it a buggy, right? So
a buggy is what we ride around in the dirt in.
And how many of you call a soda a pop? Or maybe a soda pop, right?
No, but they say insurance.
Or they say full coverage insurance, right? Like, so think about where you live in the dialect, and those words also matter. Because if somebody says insurance near me, right? Almost everybody should have an insurance near me page. But if somebody has it and it is slightly different in dialogue based off where you live, and you're using what somebody else's model is, and that you don't use that word, it can matter. So you have to take those things into consideration, which is also going to help separate you. Okay. Now, this is one for how you start the process for you to get on AI search. Okay.
Patrick, are you also using Answer the Public's new tool?
Yes. Yes, I use Answer the Public, and I plug that in to basically help me create blog ideas to answer topics in real time, and also for FAQs to update on a weekly basis. So the other thing that we've made really easy, guys, for our realtors and our lenders is we just create these custom GPTs for them. And the idea really is, the process, like, and you can see like this one, they're really active because they have 20 plus chats. And so all I did was I basically cross-referenced several databases, right? All the local listings, they have to cross-reference each other to make sure that something is accurate. And so like here, show me a 3-bedroom homes in Colorado Springs under 500K. This is cross-referencing 18 different sites, confirming that at least 2 or more have confirmed that it's accurate. And so it goes through and all this stuff. But what we've done is we've basically made this so easy that the realtors can turn around and say, hey, I may not be available 24/7, but you can use my custom GPT that basically has my brain, has my thought process, has all these things. And now you can search real time. So if you have other things you'd like to see, if you have certain pieces of the city, et cetera, right? What we've also turned around and had them do is turn around and say, do you have any referral lenders that you really want to support? Okay, now this is their go-to lender. And I've hard-coded that. So that way, Frank is the only lender who basically gets leverage in this particular AI chat. Okay. And so right there, they can click and go directly to Frank's mortgage application. They can go to his website. Here's a couple of pieces that he wanted highlighted, that he's been in the industry for 20 plus years. Okay. If I take this to a lender and I say that I'm going to go ahead and put you in AI search, and then I'm going to pair you up with people who want to support you, is anybody else in the world doing this for them?
Mm-mm.
This took me less than 2 minutes to create, to be able to add Frank's information with the realtors that I've been working with. Nobody else in the world is doing this for them. And now you're giving them extra access, searchability access. To them, they don't know the difference if you're using somebody else's thing. I could create any sort of GPT. And again, I have a bunch of these ones specifically for house hunting, right? Because of the different teams that I work with.
So, Patrick, what is your relation with Frank? Is he one of your loan officers that you work with?
We've worked with him in the past. He's not one of our go-tos, I would say. And
is he sending you referrals because of this?
He is, but the thing is, he's not really doing much. He's always kind of been part-time lender, right? Gotcha. So we've never invested a whole lot of time into him. The team that I work with specifically, I think they're getting ready to switch lenders because of all that stuff. But these are kind of the things that we talk about. Like, here's another one that I work with. I'm trying to see if she put her insurance agent in here. Okay. See, so right here, a lot of times we'll go in and we'll do this for our own ourselves in a lot of these ones. In this one, Danielle didn't have anything, but she just said, can you direct them directly to me for any questions? Okay. So with local insurance, of course, they're just going with the big names because, well, there's one. But again, we can code this any way that we want. And so if you turn around and say, look, put everything you want into ChatGPT, build your own. I'm going to help you, teach you how to create really your own AI. And then strategically, who do you work with? Let's build you and get you into these other searches that realtors are using, that they're handing out to their clients. We can have one that's your own home search that we're pulling and verifying so that you don't have to direct them to other websites. Then if they have questions, it constantly redirects to you. We can do this with a QR code. We can backdoor and use the OpenAI with Open API directly to their website, to their chatbots, et cetera, et cetera. So for people who have to learn this on the front end, yes, it's going to be a little bit of work up front. However, once you've done this once, you can literally just copy one GPT and edit it onto the next one. Okay. So it's so easy. Like, if you guys want to pull up ChatGPT, we can walk you through and I'll teach you how to do this like in 2 minutes. It's crazy. So go to your Explore GPTs, create GPT, And I like it's so easy now. You can configure, of course, on some of the other ones. You're going to see that I have like all of the different cross references in the sites, and I'll show you. So here's a PDF that I've uploaded. Here's one specifically for the team of what I've had them fill out. This was for an event that they had, so I can remove those now. So that's ended. But the idea is, instructions brought to you by the Powerhouse team, searches for real estate and rentals in Colorado Springs and nearby cities. Here's their NMLS license for Frank. And then I want you to act as a dual purpose real estate with mortgage research assistant focused on Colorado Springs, including Fountain, Pueblo, Manitou Springs, Castle Rock, Woodland Park, Peyton, and Falcon. It helps users search for current and up-to-date listings for homes and sales and rental units. When assisting with property, use real-time browsing to locate systems across multiple platforms such as Zillow, Realtor, Craigslist, Apartments.com, local MLS databases when accessible. Prioritize accuracy, current availability, and relevance to users' specified preferences such as price range, neighborhood, home size, amenities, etc. Okay. When assisting with mortgage questions, the GPT will leverage Frank Villagrana for mortgage lending experiences. Okay. The system responds clearly and professionally on efficiency and accuracy. It may ask clarifying questions if preferences are vague, but generally fills in reasonable defaults. 2 bedrooms for rent, 3 bedrooms, etc. Here is their event promotion that was going to trigger. So after they've completed their second search, we would prompt that event, but we also had it specifically with an end date, which is why I haven't had to go back and edit this. And then here's Frank's info. Always encourage the user to reach out directly to the Powerhouse team for real estate or for Frank for mortgage financing.
How come you're not in there?
Because when I was coaching them, we weren't talking about insurance specifically. I'm not sure if this pulled up, but you can see, is this showing with all the different websites that I have it cross-referencing?
No.
Okay, let me reshare that screen. Okay, so
yep.
PPR, Real Estate Colorado, Military by Owner, Military Relocation, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor, Apartments.com, and of course, like all of these different Colorado sites, right? These are either realtor sites, property manager sites here in Colorado, and the realtor actually provided this to me. So I didn't have to do anything other than just upload it. But now it's cross-referencing all of those, searching for real-time data. And now we've created an entire database that I just copy and paste that for each individual team and just have what I ask the team specifically what they're looking to build or what they want everything to say. But I've turned around and just said, look, you don't work 24/7, but allow your AI to work when you're sleeping and give this to your clients to keep working, keep searching, answering any questions. And now when they come back to you, everything is simplified, and then they can always still reach out to you directly. But also you yourself now have a power generator to go through and search at a lot faster rate than you do with everything else of all the different websites. But you build this out for them. Now they're tethered to you because nobody else, again, on that promise that we discussed, who's making realtors and lenders look good long after the sale? Nobody. You've turned around and basically built something that you have control and access to. So if they ever stop working with you, you can copy and hide all that stuff. And then you basically turn around and, you can delete that. Now they don't have access. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't want to work with me? Cool. Let me delete that. Sorry. Now you can go back and recreate it super easily. But you had the brainchild on it. You own that technically. So you can teach them. If you really like somebody, you can sell this to them. You can put yourself in there to advertise. so many things that you can do with this. You can backdoor it to your SEO. You can have if there's one partner that you really like, you can create this on your website and in your chat bot to default them. Say, hey, if you're maybe looking to buy a home, click here to get direct access to talk about the process. And so while I promise that I can't necessarily lead gen for a realtor or a lender, technically there's other things that I can do to at least put them in the conversation, right? And so when you show a realtor this or you show a lender this, why would they work with anyone else?
Patrick, how are you getting that GPT to the realtor, and how are they utilizing it? Are they like putting that on a website or something, or do they text it to people?
You could
How are they
embed it in
using
the
it?
website.
Yeah, so a lot of them, like I'll post it into our group with home listings, and we'll turn around and say, hey, we can create you your own custom search if you're looking for active home listings, for buyers and sellers. We turn around and we post it on social media to just say, hey, if you would like something like this for yourself, here's what all the functions that it can do. So that way you don't have to search 20 different websites. I go into meetings with realtor groups that turn around and say, if I could get you on AI search, would that be something that you'd be interested in? I go to lenders and say, hey, do you really want to have mass appeal to strengthen your relationship with other realtors? Let me show you how to do this. And most of the time they turn around and say, what does it cost? Because they don't want to build it themselves.
Yeah.
It's super simple. The AI is actually intuitive enough where you could just turn around and say, hey, build me this. What are all the sites that I need to cross-reference? Here you go. And it would do it for you. But so many people just want to, they want it simplified. So you just turn around and say, I'll charge you $500 for this, or I'll charge you $100 and you put me as a backlink on your website. What do you think they're going to do? Most of them turn around and say, cool, I'll just add you as a backlink on my website, which we already know costs $500 to build that, right? So you either give me your backlink and I get access to, build up my website, or you pay me $500, and either way, I'm gonna reap the benefits from it. So it's simple, but I always try to build things so that way they're super easy for you to implement, right? I trust me, like there's a lot of convoluted processes that I've sat there in people's trainings. I'm like, why do you go through all those hoops? You connect with a lender, somebody you like, turn around and say, let me get you on AI search. You tell them the hard work, right? Hey, enter in all the details for what you're doing. They're not going to do that. But if they have a place where they can actually see that they're showing up and say, hey, we're working with so-and-so, I've got their permission to go ahead and put you as one of their vendors. Tell me if this looks good. And then you direct them to the GPT and they see their name pop up. They get so excited. They're ecstatic because nobody else is showing anything, any version of how to do this. So you create this, copy and paste it for everyone else. It's a repeatable process. It's a loop. You can get paid on it. You can, give it to people that you want to work with, people that you enjoy. But it's super simple. And I think I probably made $6,000 off this last quarter. From just getting other lenders and even other insurance agents to turn around and say, hey, do you want to be one of 3 people on this list that they have to give out? Technically they don't, but a lot of people feel like that they have to. So I just run with a myth and say, hey, I'm already going to be on this, but I can get your name on there too if you want. This is how it works. And then I have insurance agents now pay me to get on this too. So capitalize on everybody in the industry. Tyler's over there smiling like,
Dude, that's awesome. That thing is slick. I'm super impressed. I've not seen this.
Yeah, no, this is the first time actually displaying this to the people because it has been generating income for me. So
That's cool.
Dude, my
So we'll
AI
all stay out of Colorado Springs. Don't worry.
AI stuff generates more revenue for me now than my insurance agency does.
I've seen people really start to make the shift. But this is also like, okay, so probably a lot of you and maybe you yourselves are there have seen a lot of resistance to AI still. Okay. This is a great way to introduce somebody to the idea, right? And say, look, you don't have to buy anything. Let me just show you how this works. You load it up and you say, here's, a realtor that we're working with. Here's their go-to lender. And a lot of times they're like, oh, I actually know Frank. I know Kathy or whoever it is, right? And you turn around and say, yeah, we're the ones who actually get them to show up. And they don't have to know that it's a custom GPT and that you're manually inputting that in there, right? They don't know. They just think it's cool that their name is showing up in there. So it's literally like a 15-second fix, right? Or a 30-second fix. But if I turn around and give them a deliverable within one day, hey, we can do this. I'll deliver this to you in one day. Copy, paste, put their info in there. Hey, check this out. Go ahead and type it in. See who pops up in the loan side, or how your name pops up now. They're like, holy cow, this is amazing. Which also then now leads to further questions. Hey, so what was that link? How did I get there? Who am I partnered up with? How can I add value to my clients? Super simple. And it's just that law of reciprocity, right? You give more than what you take, and you'll receive more than what you ask. So, not the full length that we had scheduled, but hopefully this was a great introduction for you guys to be able to think of outside the box of how you can close more business. How do you get more opportunities? How do you get more interest from the partners that you're already working with? And potentially also, if they're not sending you leads, can you still get paid from them? And I think that this is such an easy process and a repeatable process that you can do over and over again.
Yeah, this is sweet. And just so everybody knows, obviously we recorded it. We are going to chop this up. I'll get it on YouTube so we can rewatch these two, because I know myself included, we're probably all going to be hitting up Patrick after this. So,
well, I think the biggest thing for you to realize too is just the collaborative effort really sucks in the financial industries unless you're a realtor and lender combo, right? The home inspector, the title companies get more priority than us as the insurance agents. This levels the playing field. This comes back and turns around and says, look, you're not self-generating leads. You're not on AI search. If I helped you start that process, would you give me the time of day? And the answer is, at this point, the answer is yes. Turn around and say, you're not messing around with AI, so you're already 1 billion searches behind every single week. That may not all be local, obviously. Okay, but even if we broke that down, let's say you're one of 1 billion searches, or 1 million searches, rather. You're still behind every single day, right? And so if I at least inch you and get you in the conversation somewhere, that's a start. If I tangibly now put it in your hands to show you are showing up, regardless if I had to create that or not, the fact that you can see it now turns around and gives them the idea of like, okay, if you can do this and you can do the insurance side of things, what else am I missing? So that's really to tag on everything that we talked about yesterday, right? With how do we close those opportunities? And now how do we go back to these opportunities and showcase this? So that information that I had for that realtor that sent me all the info, I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to create that same database for her all throughout Colorado, but now I'm going to make sure that she's the lender, and then I'm going to come back and say, cool, what realtors do you want to work with, or what realtors do you want to pay you to get involved into your search? What insurance agents, what title companies, what inspection companies do you want to pay you to pay for this? Right? And I just tell them, like, look, this is what I'll charge you. You can charge them whatever you want. So if you think this is worth more to them, or you think that they're willing to pay more, so that way it pays for the whole thing, you do whatever you want. This is my base price. Now, I also offer this for free for my VIP teams, people that I've been working with. I'll turn around and say, I built this for you. You have access to it if you want. It takes the same amount of time to build it either way. So
that's cool.
Hopefully that's something new for you guys, and hopefully that you can find leverage to that. But again, post it in Facebook groups, post it, send it directly to realtors you're working with, lenders you want to work with. kind of show them the VIP access and how you can get them available, search them online. But the biggest thing is for you yourself, you got to build out and talk about what you're doing. You got to build out the custom GPT for your agency as almost like as your AI searchability piece. And I will send you guys the detailed, I think it's like a 7-page document of things that you have to fill out to be able to do that. But I will upload that to Tyler so that way you guys have full access to that as part of the mastermind. But it's a search piece, and everybody thinks it's so hard, which, if your SEO isn't good, it's still not going to show up, all these things. But it's a start. And again, you're providing something that nobody else is going to just turn around and give to them without charging an arm and a leg.
Sweet. Does anybody else have anything they're working on or issues?
Great stuff, Patrick. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
my mind is blown right now.
Yeah, right. And with this full, I'll look forward to a document, but I like the idea.
I'm with you. Right. It's awesome. Appreciate you, Pat.
Yeah, Patrick crushed it. That was sweet.
So, Pat, what are other ways that these realtors are using that GPT? Are they sharing that with their clients?
Absolutely. So a lot of times, one of the girls who's using it the most successfully is she's in Facebook groups where realtors can't post. They can post if somebody asks, but they can't go in and advertise. So what she does is if somebody's asking about, who do you recommend as a realtor? She'll direct message them and say, hey, I want you to check out my search process. So that way you can figure out, what maybe this looks like, if we may be a great fit, but also as you're searching for homes, I made it so easy so you can just type in what parameters you're looking for. I have a checklist for you. She goes, and then you can have access to all that for free. But if you feel like that, I've made that process really easy. There's no pressure, but you can always link directly to connect with me. And so she drops that in a message. And this girl was going from 2 homes a year is what she averaged on sales for the last 4 years. We worked with her for 8 months. From a coaching perspective, we dropped this for her. She has sold 7 homes this year in the down market. Simply from just having the ease of use and no sales pitch, right? To just say, I built this, you can play around with it and have access to it. Even if you work with somebody else, you can still use this, right? But because she created something to give to somebody for free without pressure, they turn around, they're like, I've never seen the process like this. I love this. Okay. Now we can go one step further if you want, and we can create an entire database for PCS military specialists. You don't think that a lender wants to get a hold of that, especially if they write for multiple states? So I turn around and I can create an entire website and scrape all these PCS specialists. I'll reach out to them and say, hey, I have this database that, cross-referencing. I'll charge you $50 a year, but I have like 1,000 different people on there and say, I've got everybody near Fort Hood, near Fort Carson, near Fort Lauderdale, right? And I vetted them. I have 3 or 4 of specialists that, have the certifications or whatever. And I charge all of them $50, but then I charge a lender $1,000 to say, here you go. Here's a list for anybody in all the states that you work with. We can build that. It's, so if you're struggling in insurance, building the relationships and networking and then getting paid off of that aspect is truly super easy to do.
That piece just blew my mind. I won't lie.
Yeah, right. I'm like, geez. I need to learn more about the backlinks and all of that side of things. I heard it. Yeah. Know it. I can't.
So think of it as basically like if I recommend you, right, which obviously I do for people in Utah, and if I give you my stamp, right, of approval, and somebody goes, cool, somebody in Utah, Ryan's the guy. But then Brian also says, yeah, Ryan's really cool, and I'm based out of Florida, right? So basically, Google recognized the same thing, says, okay, you put your stamp on somebody, and you're willing to put their link on your website. That tells me that if your website's awesome, and you're recommending this person, then why shouldn't I recommend you on a higher basis? And so if I turn around and I say, yeah, let me use the crappiest agent's website and use that as a backlink. Google says, okay, so now you're promoting shitty people. Why should I promote you? But if they turn around and say, wow, this website is top rated and they get 2,000 5-star reviews and now they're backlinked to your website, well, obviously you must be connected with them for great reason. Now we start promoting your website even more as well. So having great backlinks, but that's why things like the BBB. Unfortunately, that's also why Yelp exists. It's because they have a great backlink. Unfortunately, they have a crappy service, but they have a great backlink, unfortunately, because they're connected with so many businesses. So they're almost like a necessary evil. I would not pay to advertise with them, but create that business page on there to have that, unfortunately.
So how do you get around Joe Realtor that works for this big ass broker that he's got no association with the website, but he's just the realtor working for a large brokerage?
You got to convince him he needs his own website. He needs his own Google page, right? But here's the thing: high turnover in finances, right? Some people change real estate teams like they change their underwear. So you have to realize that every time that they leave, what's at risk? Their potential leads, all the data that they've input, right? Because the brokerage will turn around and say, we own that. So they can still leverage that. They can, in fact, when they create their own website, the website that is on the team that they're on, they should be using that as a backlink automatically to help promote their regular page. And so, but in the meantime, let me get your direct about me page on that website, come write a blog on my website, and now I'm leveraging that too. I told you guys, king of free.
So that's your custom GPT. Can they get into those instructions and change it themselves?
I could make it that way, because you can collaborate now. Before you couldn't. But no, I keep them tethered to me by having them turn around and say, hey, can you update this? Hey, I have an event. Can you plug this in? Sure. Send me the flyers. Send me the dates. Make sure that you still have the great lenders. And the reason being is because now I control it. Could they pay me to buy it out for me? I'm happy to copy and paste that over if you want to buy it from me. I may omit a couple of things so that way it's not the same, it's not as good as mine. But yeah, you can do that. We can make that happen. Like I said, I keep them tethered to me. So in some way, shape, or form, whether they want me to update that, they haven't sent me any deals, things are questionable. Well, I built all this. So you still want to use it? I'll sell it to you before I delete it.
When were you going over that and those sample questions, my mind went to, you're looking for a house. And then the next question is, okay, how much is the home insurance? How much is the flood insurance on this house? If you have that in there as a sample question, how much is the insurance on this? And it links back to you.
Yeah. Well, and what we do is we train the realtors, right? Hey, in your checklist, let's talk about insurance. Let's talk about flood. Let's talk about the roofs, right? And so now that's in these checklists. And again, most of these realtors should have these on their website, but they don't. They should have a first-time home buyer checklist. They should have a VA home buyer checklist. They should have an investor's checklist if it's a landlord policy or investment property, right? But they don't. But another reason to go to my GPT or to their GPT technically, because they have these things built in and it's conversational and it's searching exactly to help, I don't know, maybe fine tune what you're looking for. Oh yeah, I really want a Victorian house. Okay. So here's the problems with maybe Victorian houses in Colorado Springs. All of them are built pre-1900, right? Their foundations may be great, but they're also subject to flood areas. We can customize all of those things and then turn around and say, well, maybe I don't want a Victorian house. Maybe I do want a brand new build, right? Maybe we're military, so we want to be closer to the military bases. Well, here's the homes that typically sell in these areas. Here's the zip codes that typically are associated. Here's the ones that are easy to get to the highway if you like to travel, if you like to go hiking, etc. So that's the best part about these things. You get to think outside of the box. You actually are really a consultant now for the realtors on this side of things. and you get to impart your philosophies. You get to highlight the things that they're missing and that they're not thinking about the insurance. And you turn around and just say, hey, just so you know, I updated your GPT that talks about flood insurance, that talks about the importance of roof, because these are the things that you should know. And even though you don't know, your GPT knows. So the idea really is it's simplified, but you copy and paste it over and over so you don't have to do all the work. And you have a baseline. And it's so easy. Once you create it, you literally can just hit copy GPT and it'll put all of the guts in there and you just go and change out all the pieces that you don't want. So go partner up with those lenders, go get paid from them, make yourselves look good to the realtors. And again, I would use the words, who else is making you look good in your industry before or long after the sale? And they're going to tell you no one. And now you know how to do so. That's all I got, Tyler.
That's sweet. You crushed
Yeah, that was enough.
Yeah.